All right. And we are on.
All right.
Whew. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you.
That drive up here. Woo.
I know, right?
Everybody talks about me because they say I drive like a grandpa.
But you got here, right?
Yeah.
That's all that counts.
Yeah.
That is all that
Yeah,
counts.
but that truck ain't seen 90 miles an hour. I don't do that. I stay around 75, 72, sometimes.
75, 72.
That's it. That's it. That's why everybody like they flying when I'm just cruising. I looked down, that thing was past the 90 mark. I said, hey.
But you used to do it way back when, though.
But that was different. That was different.
What was different about it?
Yep.
What was different about it?
Yeah.
That? What is that?
It was back then.
Oh,
It was back then. Yeah, I would go. I mean, back then, I did things because I wanted to see what the result.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I did it twice to make sure I didn't like it the first time. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I used to get a ticket every year. And it was always coming from school back to Fort Lee. Back
64.
home. No, 460.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's everybody got to. I didn't get no. Let me tell you something. You probably won't believe this, and most people won't believe it. But in my lifetime, I have 2 tickets. And I got one in Petersburg on Washington Street at the 4-way intersection at a stoplight. And I got the other one right there on Oakland Boulevard, right in front of the Pilot gas station, going into Hopewell. And they were on the same day for the same exact thing. It was for a noise ordinance because I had my music too loud in my car. Yeah. When the camera was wrong, everybody remember that camera. But that camera used to have, I put so much stereo equipment in there, man.
Something.
Yeah. The cop pulled me over. He said, my shit was too loud. Okay. And I took the ticket. I didn't think nothing of it. But then when I was going into Hopewell, the cop pulled me over and he said, if I could hear your music outside of your car, it's too loud. I said, oh, okay. But then his radio in the car went off and I could hear it. I said, well, ain't your radio too loud? He said, stay right here, Mr. Hubbard. I'll be right back. So I knew I was getting the ticket at that point. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have.
Those are the 2 tickets that I have in my life. Those are the 2 tickets that I have. And, they're pretty exciting, though. I mean, they're just tickets.
Right.
But yeah, driving up here is, I used to drive 95. Me and a couple of friends, we used to work at Manassas at Micron semiconductor facility. And we leave the house around 2:30. And we would battle that traffic on 95.
Right.
Did that for 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. And I don't miss it. I don't miss that part of it at all.
I'm sure you don't.
It's quite comfortable, being employed for the government. I work for the VA now, and I don't even know if it's 8 minutes to get to my job.
You're lucky.
Yeah. The hardest thing is going over the railroad tracks and making sure the train don't catch you. Yeah, that's about it. Because I usually don't leave my house till, 7-8 minutes till it's time for me to be there. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry. 7-8 minutes.
That's why you were late today.
Well, see, today I got off.
We got to explain to the folks why we.
To my defense, when I got off this morning, I work in the engineering department at the VA, and so I'm driving. I mean, I go home and I have everything already because I planned this a week out, 2 weeks, whatever it was, and I didn't have to do anything but get up, shower, put my smell goods on, and jump on the road. That was the plan. And of course, I was bringing my right hand man, but I can't get in touch with him right now. I guess he's got something going. But anyways, so I laid down. And normally I'm at that age now where I don't value sleep. I enjoy these eyes of mine want to see everything that's going on. So the more I'm awake, the more I'm there. I'm like a newborn baby that don't want to go to sleep. I think I'm gonna miss something, you know. So I'm always up. So anyways, I lay down for a few seconds, and I set my clock. I actually set my phone and my clock. And when I opened my eyes, it said 2:46. Well, at 2:46, I was supposed to be dressed and on the way here.
True.
That's what my plan was, because then I would not been late. And I was like, well, how did it be 2:46? So first I thought maybe there was some type of new time moving forward thing, you know, because it's raining in Dubai right now, so it's anything can be possible. So I thought maybe that's what happened, and I said, well, somebody came in here and turned my alarm off or something like that. Really? We gonna do that? We gonna do that to my story for real? That's the truthest is what that is. That's true.
Okay.
So then, I jumped up, hit the shower, and I already had, like I said, I had my stuff all laid out, so I just threw my stuff on and brushed my teeth and everything, and I jumped in the truck and I started driving. So, anyways, that's what happened. And I guess the Sandman decided that, you know, in between the rounds when I'm fighting this fight, he decided he was gonna, you know, put a little sand on me because I could not wake up. So that's what happened. But I'm here. Safely.
And I'm so glad
and
you
the
are.
good Lord got me here safely.
Yes. I'm so glad you are.
So I'm really I'm excited. I'm excited to do this, and I hope we can keep doing these type of things. I just wish some of the other military brats that we grew up with were here, because unlike most of the people we came to know, living on Fort Lee, which is Fort Gregg now.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's roll it back. Roll it back.
Okay.
So, hey y'all. Hey.
You know?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hey y'all. It's Gratita, better known as Joy. And it's time with Joy. So we are going to talk about Month of the Military Child. And we're both military brats, military children.
That we are.
So I think this is a very, very important topic to talk about, because it's a lot of things going on that people need to know about, and people need to hear about. We have a story. We got some fun things, some serious things. Wait till you hear it. But first of all, I did not know. What you say? Fort Lee is what?
It is now Fort Gregg.
What is Fort Gregg?
Gregg Adams, actually.
What is that? Why is that?
Well, with all of if I can just digress for a second and give a little foundation to this. We here in the United States, we celebrate losers. And what happened with that is, with the removal of all of the Confederate names, I'll go that route, try to be politically correct. With the removal of all of that type of stuff, they're renaming a lot of things, like Jefferson Davis is no longer Jefferson Davis.
Right.
Of course, like I said, none of the military bases that have Confederate names, they're no longer Confederate names. Right. So that is the primary reason to why the bases have been renamed. Now, people can tell you whatever they want to tell you, but that's what it is. But that's why it's no longer Fort Lee as we knew it. It is now Fort Gregg Adams, I believe is what it is.
Who is Gregg Adams?
Yup. Yeah.
So who is he? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe I haven't done that research. I just know that when I go on there now, it's a big sign, and it's a cultural sign too. It's a sign that has actually a fair-skinned man and a melanated woman. So basically, I guess they're trying to display unity as far as the military is concerned, and it's not a separate or segregated military anymore. So, but that's what it is. I've not done the research on who Greg Adams or Greg, who Greg Adams is. I haven't done that research, but if somebody has, please come right on and tell me so I'll know too. I just didn't.
Yeah, let us know. We looking. So put it in the chat. We listening. We looking.
It'd be great to hear.
We're responding.
I don't know why. See, that's why Vicky would need to be. Vicky would probably know.
Right, right.
She works in that kind of capacity with the government.
Yeah.
But, no, that's the thing about it. It's no longer Fort Lee.
Okay.
Yeah. So
wow.
like Fort Pickett. There's no longer Fort Pickett. It's thing, and I just saw it on the sign when I was driving up here.
Okay. Wow.
So, anyways, but that's what's going on.
All right. So, for the people that don't know who you are you? What's your name? And tell me about yourself.
Years ago when people would ask me what my name was, I just tell them call me what they felt like calling me at that moment.
I cannot.
But honestly, my name is Jackie Hubbard. I am a military brat by the way of Leonard Birch Jr., who served in the military for well over 23, 24 years. He's a Vietnam vet. He is not my blood father, but he is my father by way of marrying my mother and taking care of me and raising me. So he is the reason I got exposed to military life. But yeah, Jackie Hubbard, some of you may know me, some of you may not, but I grew up basically as a military brat all over the place, but I have I grew to know and love Gratita and some of my other military friends by way of Fort Lee. So that's who I am. And don't believe that stuff y'all heard, because
we're not going there yet. We are not going there yet, because we are going to talk about them stories. Okay. And I know some people that can chime in on some of this stuff, and make sure y'all type in there about the stuff we're going to talk about. But my name is Gratita, again, better known as Joy. And I did what? Say what? I became a military child through my father, Omi Lee Holiday, and my mother, Lily Mae Bankhead Holiday Hall. Yes, Lord, amen. And my stepfather, James Hall Sr. Very, very great people, and I love it. It was my experiences were, I'll tell you about my experiences later through this process, but I joined the military, being a military child, after I was born. My mother joined the military my father joined way before I was born, I was born. Yes. I didn't even know he was in the military. Yes. But then he met my mother afterwards. And then she joined the military after divorce. So afterwards, I became a military child. So that's how I became a military child.
I didn't know. I knew about your father.
So I was not born into the military. I became a military child after my mom got divorced. She joined the military.
Wow. That I did not know. I thought Miss Holiday Hall, had always been in the military with you. I thought you were actually born into it.
Nope.
Got it now.
Yeah.
See, I learned something new.
Yeah.
All these years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, y'all, you should remember when my mom and Mr. Hall began dating.
Yes.
Because we were
right.
Yeah.
I remember that, but I thought your life had always been with you being a military brat. I didn't know your mom did it after.
Yeah, it was afterwards.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it was Army. I'm an Army brat.
So am I.
Yeah.
But I'm a Navy spouse.
That's all. Okay, Navy spouse. Navy spouse and a Navy
dad.
Yeah. I am a Navy mom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Our sons are patrolling the seas and keeping the coast. And excuse me, let me say it politically correct. America's coast free of all enemies. Yes, that's what our sons do. They are very, for just to sum it up in one word, I wouldn't say lack, but to sum it up in one word, they're gentlemen. They are gentlemen, both of them. They've done more in their 30 plus years on this planet than we actually did, because they're well-established men. They really are. And so proud when I look at them, especially when they're in their uniform. I mean, boys are, I don't care what y'all say, them boys are sexy in their uniform. They look great.
They do.
Handsome doesn't say enough about them when they're in their uniform. But yeah,
they do.
Makes us very proud.
I get so excited when I get a picture of him in his uniform. I'm like, yes, that is all me. That is all me, baby. I created that one right there. I don't know what his dad had to do with it, but I know that is all me. I know that. Yes. Hey, Vanessa. Yes. Yes, Lord.
And they made us grandparents. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the good Lord made me a granddad. He knew I needed something to do with not only my time, but with my money. He knew it. So he gave me a granddaughter. Actually, I have two. One's not old enough yet for me to spoil, but that's I'm sorry, I said spoil. I didn't mean to say that. For me to help take care of. Let's say it that way. But that is coming. And some of y'all have seen Zuri, but it is what it is.
So how's that experience being a grandparent of someone that's in the military?
It is challenging in the sense that you don't really think of them being in the modern Navy and being on ships as being a danger of sorts, because you really don't think of anyone challenging us, especially with the current war on terror and that type of thing. You don't think of anybody challenging us on the sea. So it's not like it's a 100% worry that you have when you think of your sons being out there, as opposed to a Marine or a Army soldier who are actually on the battlefield. So it's not the same worry, but you do worry. But it's not the same. It doesn't carry the same weight. At least not to me, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, if we ever challenge someone like China or Russia or someone who has a modern Navy, then it would be different. But yeah, I mean, it's great. My son is stingy with his daughter. So actually they both are. My youngest and my oldest they're both stingy with their kids. So I take the time that I get and I do my best to make sure that child understands that if I say something, that's all they got to tell their parents is, well, Pop said that I can do it, so I'm gonna do it. And that's usually what it is. I get reprimanded a lot for snacks and things of that nature, but and when I go somewhere, if I take them, I buy things. I mean, I get limited in what I can buy, because everybody's always saying I spend too much, or I buy things that they can't use. Like I was going to buy Zuri a mini bike, but her dad talked me out of it. I wanted to get her a 4-wheeler motorcycle. Her dad talked me out of it, and yeah. Think about getting them a horse.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So let me.
Sorry.
Yeah. Not a horse.
But anyways, yeah. Life is as a military or a father of a military man after being in the military. after being a military brat and now military spouse. I mean, just being associated with the military, basically your entire life is what it boils down to. Is you get to see both perspectives of what people, well, like military people say, civilians see and military members see. Because military members, there is a discipline that you have to add in that a civilian don't or wouldn't understand. Mm-hmm. And it's always going to be that way, even if whatever the conflict is or whatever the issue is has been resolved, you're still going to have to add in that military discipline.
Yeah. So I have my grandson right now. My son is getting ready to be deployed. I don't know how long he's going to be deployed right now. But I think that's a challenge for a lot of people, and I wonder how my mom did it when she was in the military. And I remember her going as a single mom. I remember her going into the field, not deployment, it's the same thing. But of course, going into the field was not as long as deployment. But the field, they had to go out and they stayed for what, weeks?
Well, if they did the Reforger in Germany, that was more like 3 months, 3 to 6 months. Basically, they would load up like they were going to have a ground war, and your father or mother would be gone, just gone. You didn't really hear from them. You didn't, and it was just a mock.
Wasn't any cell phones back then.
Yeah.
No pagers.
None
of that. So we could not get in touch with them like we could get in touch with them now.
Yes.
But I was always excited when they came back because they had these canteens and the what are they called? The rations. The rations. The MREs. Oh, man, I was excited. They were funny. My mom did not like them, but of course, because that's all they had to eat. But I was excited for some of them. Some of them were pretty good. I thought delicious. I thought they were pretty good as a kid. Like that was my excitement of her coming back.
C rations,
right?
Look at you like, eat that crap. Yes,
I did.
You take the little cocoa packets out of them, man. Oh my gosh, y'all don't understand. And it was crazy because the peanut butter was kind of like eating.
Oh my gosh!
It was like dehydrated peanut butter. I mean, this stuff was thick. And, when peanut butter gets old, the oil separates out of it.
Yeah.
Well, if you leave it on the shelf, as soon as this stuff came out the packet, that's what it looked like. Because, some of this stuff had been, in a warehouse on the shelf somewhere for years. It wasn't like the C rations were made 2 weeks ago and then you get them. Nah, they have shelf life, so God knows how.
Expiration date? What is that? What is that?
They're not MRE.
What is an expiration date?
And my pops would come home and he'd have like a case of things, and I would go in there. I would get the ham, get the spaghetti ones, and I'm gonna tell you something. You take that spaghetti one. You get you a piece of American cheese. You warm that thing up, put that cheese on top of it, and stir it up.
Yes,
We're
Lord.
gonna take a nap after. We're gonna take a nap. I mean, it was crazy, but that's what we did as military kids. I mean, a soldier will look at us like these things are disgusting because they have to eat those 24/7 when you're in the field.
Yeah.
Us, on the other hand, nah, we just gobbled them down because we thought they were the greatest thing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that. Oh man! But that's what you would spend. Your parents would go away sometimes for 3 months, and they're just in the field. That's what they would be. They'd be sleeping in military tents. It was just like a deployment of a mock war before any of the Iraq or Afghanistan conflicts developed, and that's what these soldiers were doing to practice, basically. Yeah. And that's what it was. It'll be you and with me, it was my mom. Because my dad was in the military, and so they would just be gone, and you sit there and you're like, of course, being a boy child, that's another story. Anyways, you learned really fast how to help your family.
Yeah.
You learned really fast what you needed to do as far as cutting the grass, taking the trash out, keeping the house clean, helping your mom, or keeping the house in the order that it's supposed to be, And then, like she said, there were no cell phones or anything like that. And if your dad or your mother did call, you looked forward to that phone call because, like I said, they were gone for weeks, months on it.
Yeah. And I'm very thankful to be able to be here for my grandson, because I think I stayed with some neighbors or someone like in Germany when she had to go out to the field or something. It was someone that, of course, that she built a relationship with, a very good rapport with. But I stayed with them while she went out into the field. I remember staying with them and then going back to the house and getting something, because I had a key, going back to the house, getting some clothes or getting this and that, and then coming back. So it was hard. It was hard. It's difficult for a single woman. And my son, of course, is a single father. So I'm there for him, and I'm glad to be there for him to help in that situation, so he doesn't have to go through any of those troubles and problems of trying to find someone that he can trust in that situation while he's being deployed. So,
and she's right. That is one of the harder things I see now. It's like with my son. When Zuri was born, he was still out to sea. He was actually on a ship that broke the Navy's record for time out at sea without coming into a port. And you need to look it up, because it wasn't something, because we were not in an active time of battle or anything like that. But for those young men and that captain to be out on the water for that length of time without coming into port does a lot to the mental status of a human being. It really does. And his biggest issue was, he was supposed to be able to come home when she was to be born, and he wasn't. So when he got to see her, if I'm correct in my timing, she was I think she was 4 months old, 3 months old. And the ship's coming in down there. If you haven't seen it, you might want to go down and check it out. It'll be a great thing just to go and watch these young men and women get off the ship and their families that haven't seen them for a duration of time. It's really cool to actually see them interact with their families and to sit there and be like, well, dang, this cat's been gone for 6 or 8 months or a year, and they've actually changed. They've grown. Same thing with coming back from a deployment, from being stationed overseas or in Afghanistan or well, not Afghanistan anymore, but anything dealing with the war on terror. Watching the soldiers come home. If you ever get the chance to do it, and it just, even if you don't have a soldier that's coming home, just go and watch all the love that his family display. But with the Navy, they let the new fathers get off first. And they're some of the first individuals to get off. So, I hadn't seen him, and it was, if I'm correct, it was been 2 years. And he got off the ship. I can tell it was him because he walks just like me. He's got his, what they call the Cracker Jack suit on. And, it's all black, and he's coming towards me, and I'm like, that's my son, Nice. And you got all these people cheering and everything. Now I'm holding Zuri, and I could see him start to glow when he realized I had her. And all he could do was smile when he walked up to me. And it was crazy because, he's never held a baby before. This is your baby. This is your daughter. And now he talked on the phone to her, but she wasn't she wasn't communicating very well. She's a baby. Yeah. So when I was trying to hand her to him, it wasn't that he was reluctant. It was he was afraid he might hurt her or something.
That's what Chant did the first time he saw me.
It is the coolest thing, but I'm like, man, this is your daughter, brother. Hold your child, And it was almost as if God let her know that, hey, this is the guy that your grandfather and your grandmother and your mother have been telling you about. This is the guy. This is him. This is your daddy, you know. And she looked at him with her little fat face and she smiled, much like she does right now. And she smiled at him. And she pooped. So he had to change her diaper. So it was great, man. It was cool. So, but riding home, looking at his, because he just stared at it the whole time. We got in the truck and we were driving back from Oceana. And we were driving back, and he just stared at her. And I was like, now you get to experience daddy sleep.
Yeah. So they say that the average child, the military child, will change schools 6 to 9 times
In a lifetime.
within their kindergarten through 12th grade year.
Yes.
How many times did you change schools?
Okay, let's see. Kansas, North Carolina.
Think about it.
Yeah, because you have to. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Kansas, North Carolina. Florida. Panama. And in Germany, I changed schools 2 times. Just within Germany. Because he was stationed in one place at one moment, and then we actually got stationed somewhere else, and then we started to go to a different high school. So I had the pleasure of going to 2 high schools when I was in Germany. One was Frankfurt American High School, Go Eagles, and the other one was Würzburg American High School. Yeah, so that was I met so many people, and thankful to be for social media, you get to reconnect with a ton of them, because a lot of these sites out here with, being, Brad sites and the other military high school sites, because a DOD school, there's nothing like going to a DOD
It isn't.
school.
It's so wonderful. So wonderful. Let's see. I'm going to go back. So, of course, I started in Hampton Roads schools.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you were down like Louisiana. Down south.
No, I was born in Houston, Texas. Then we went to Hampton. So I was in Hampton. Then I went to Germany. And then we went to then I went to Fort Polk. And then we went back to Germany. And then, gosh, I think I went to, I was in Houston for a little while. And then I went to Fort Lee and then Richmond. So 7 schools.
Yeah.
7 schools.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 schools.
Along with changing all of those schools, especially when you get in high school, you only fall in love about 1,200 times. Yeah, 1,260, something like that.
How many best friends did you have?
Woo!
And then had to leave them, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. You get the best friend or the running mate or the cats that, being, I was a kid that was always, I'm going to go ahead and title it like it should be titled. No, I was always into some shit. So I hung with, and back then, you got to understand, it's a different time. Back then, you had your rock bus and you had your soul bus. And that was the separation that we had back then. Now, I was that kid that would ride the rock bus home sometimes or hang with the rock kids. That was just me. I would do that. And a lot of us who were popular or thought we were popular would do that. So my best friends were, I have best friends on both sides. So I'd have 2 or 3 guys over here that I'd run with. We would do, as my grandma would say, devilish things. and then I have 2 or 3 guys on the soul side that I run with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, man. If I had to total it all up, best friends, I would say I've had at least 100, just between changing so many schools.
Right.
And yeah, because you run with guys, and it's just you just run with guys, and it's just crazy. But yeah, that's the military life of a military child. And you get angry. I don't know if you want me to touch on this, but you get angry at your father when he's got to change duty stations.
You sure do.
You're like, you got to be kidding me. We just got here. You seem like you just got there, but it may have been 6 months. It may have been 3 years, but it doesn't feel like that because you're a kid and you're growing up and you're having fun.
But that's the military child. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Because then we're talking about the anger, the anxiety, the depression part. Because children go through that. They change, they go through so much, then they shut down.
Yes.
I went through that because, again, I became a military child after my parents got divorced. And my family was totally separated after my mother went into the military. I went this way, my sister went that way, my brother went another way. And we were totally separate. So my family was totally destroyed. But my mother did what she had to do so that she could join the military and do what she had to do.
And make a life.
But as a child, that's very, very devastating.
It is.
Very devastating. And it was hard for me. Very hard. I'm still going through the trauma of being separated from my family and going through all of that, of being distanced, separated from my family, being back and forth, and things like that. So, but I know and I understand that my mom was doing what she had to do to get by, to do what she had to do to survive. But again, children don't understand that. And so they go through anxiety, they get depression, they shut down, they don't talk, they get angry, very angry.
I gotta say this one, they act out.
Yes.
Because I know for a fact, some of the things I did, I would have never done had I had an avenue to express what was going on within me.
Yeah.
I know that. Because acting out, you do some silly things, and then you do things that are totally not in your character. They're totally not the way you were raised. Because, like I said, with being a military child, there is a discipline. You have a discipline. You really do. And just silly things you should not be doing, but you will do them. You will do them because it's an anger you have, and you don't know how to displace it or get it out of your system.
Yeah, and it's really, really, it's really hard. So, and then you grow up, and if you don't get the help or the support when you're young, so therapy is needed for some. And sometimes, and in the military, you're taught to mask it. You're taught to just suck it up, cover it up.
That's the key right there.
Be strong.
Yes.
Do all of those things. Don't speak on it. Don't talk back. So it's hard. But now, if you need to make sure that you talk to your child, especially a teacher of children with military children, because they coming back and forth to schools, time and time again. They leave, they come back, they're transitioning, they come in the classroom, they have to make new friends. They're falling behind in schoolwork because this school is doing this and the other school is doing that. So it's really hard. So they have to readjust. and it's very difficult for them. So give them an out. Give them some time to find that place. Give them space. Give them socialization. Find things for them to do. Don't let them stay stagnant. Don't let them stay stagnant. That's the worst thing for them, period. I know they may want to. But even with an adult, we want to stay safe, hidden in a room, you know? We want to stay closed in, but that's not good for us either. We have to get out. We have to socialize. We have to do things, speak to others. If I didn't make a schedule for myself to go places and do things, man, I'll be in my bed every day. I wouldn't do anything, but I do. I make a schedule for myself to make sure I have places to go, things to do, people to see, and all of the things.
And that's the other thing about that, just to touch on it, is as a man, you know, when you're experiencing those things, as a young man and as a teenage boy, you don't want to appear weak.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't. And because like you said, you know, with having a military discipline or being a military child, you're taught to put dirt on it, get up and keep going. That's what you're taught. And for you to feel some type of way because you won't be able to hang out with the kids you just met a year ago, they're gone now. And yeah, we're going to write, we're going to call each other, we're going to this. That lasts about maybe 2 or 3 weeks before you stop, because you find new friends, you find new kids to hang out with. I mean, it's just like that's the life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So, as a man, who grew up as a military child, and a father of a military child, what advice? Oh, and a spouse. Look, you got 3 different things, baby. What advice do you have to give to other people that's out there?
Okay, let's do the spouse one first.
Okay.
As a spouse, I will say this. Listen, even though you may know or understand or have an understanding of something, listen. Because what you don't do is you don't go to your job every day. Because all of us have, you know, all of us that are been employed or are employed right now. Yes, you have a structure at your job. And yes, you have a social structure at your job or career. Well, with being in the military, you are obligated each time until they do what's called re-upping or re-enlisting. You are re-enlisting to sign up for another 4 years, depending on what the MOS is. And that time, every day, they go into an atmosphere. You know, with us, if we've got a boss or a supervisor that's a dick, we can go to HR. There are things we can do. Well, in the military, they like to say those that don't follow orders get people killed. And in the military, if your immediate supervisor is a dick, you have to speak to them. Then you have to speak to the person above them. But there is no running to HR. At least it wasn't back then. It may be a little different now.
Yeah.
But there was none of that. So when your spouse comes home, and as my grandmother used to say, they got their ass on their back, they're upset, they're this. Yeah, you might have the same, come home upset from your job too, but you know that the trouble don't last always. You know that. But in the military, for that duration of those 4 years, unless that supervisor is leaving before your spouse has a chance to re-enlist, they got to deal with that every single day.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, just listen. Because a lot of times all they want to do is talk to get that shit off their chest.
Yeah.
You can say, well, you can go do this, you can go do that. They can't go do that. You jump the chain of command in the military, there's always a repercussion. You jump the chain of command in the civilian world, they have this thing called the whistleblower program. Your boss does anything to you because you went over his head or her head to tell on her, you will get some type of monetary satisfaction out of it because they're going to pay you, because you can actually sue for that. In the military, you can't sue for that. You can't do a damn thing about it except be upset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might be able to invite him outside behind the barn one day or something, but nah, there's nothing really you can do about it. So I say, as a spouse, you gotta listen. That's the only thing I'll tell you, because they will come home with those issues. Also, as a military spouse, I will tell you this: those deployments are rough. They do a lot to a person, especially when you have to sit back and have an idle mind. An idle mind is the devil's playground. So you have to be able to say to yourself, I'm not going to allow these thoughts to overwhelm me, or I'm not going to allow these situations to overwhelm me. Mm-hmm. And being accusatory, that's the biggest destroyer of military marriages, because you can always think or say what you want to say, but let he who lives in a glass house cast the first stone.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So, or she. But that's what I'll say about the military spouse, as far as being a military spouse and how you handle things. Now, being a military dad, like I said, I don't have the same worries as a military father who has a son that's a Marine or a son that's in the Army, because they are, as we say, they are going to the sandbox at this point, and they will be in the direct line of danger, if you will. Like I said, Navy ships are some big, powerful machines. And if you haven't, like I said, it's not like looking at a movie. Just take the time to go see exactly what these kids are, because they're kids. That's what they are. What these kids are in control of. Go look at them. Go see what these kids do every day, when they're out on those ships. So I don't really have a really bad worry when it comes to my son deploying, or even my nephew deployed. I just don't. I don't have it. I don't have a fear for them, besides the fact that I know that they're going to do their jobs when called upon. Mm-hmm. Now, just being a military kid and going through all of that, at the time, and this is just, I'm speaking for myself and anyone who thinks like this might be correct, I didn't really fear for my father. I don't know why I didn't, because when I saw him as, this, big time superhero. He was a big dude. He played ball. He was super to me. And I had no fear of him getting hurt, especially after knowing he had been to Vietnam twice. Mm-hmm. And he had some stories. Now, there are some times that, he had the night sweats, and, he'd wake up and you see him in the corner with a broomstick or something like that. And, and you'd be like, okay, I hope he's all right. And he'd pop right out of it and he'd go to work the next day like nothing happened, Yeah. But when I saw him, especially when I saw him in his battle gear, I was just like, that is my Sergeant Savage right there. That is my guy that I know, he's my Rambo. I didn't have, other people I looked at as icons or superheroes. I looked at him like that when he was in that uniform, because that's what he appeared to be to me. So I didn't have that worry as a kid. The thing I worried about mostly was just, dang, we got to move again. Mm-hmm. Or who ate the last hot dog or stuff like that. That's what my worry was. It wasn't too much as a military brat.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. Good job. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a good answer. Yeah. I really appreciate all of that. Hey, Levon.
Hey, sis.
So, for me, as I have a couple of situations too.
Mm-hmm.
So, me as a military child, I would say I would try to remember where your parents are coming from, also what they are going through. Because they're doing the best that they can. They really are. I know that we may want to do X, Y, Z, but they're doing the best that they can at the moment. And it's hard for them too. It really is. And we can't get everything. And I'm going to tell you, that word brat, military brat,
it means something.
It means something. It does. It really does. The real word, wait a minute, I looked that up too. So, military brat, what does that mean for real? Hold on. It said, what does the word brat come from? Did you know what the word brat comes from?
I know there's an acronym. I didn't know that. I learned that from being in the Provost Marshal Station quite a bit as a teenager.
Oh, really? Let's see. British Regiment Attached Traveler. Yeah. But, yeah. I was spoiled rotten. Very, very spoiled. I got everything that I wanted. Everything. Materialistically, that is. Except for being able to be a family and be with my mother the way that I wanted to. But of course, with the military, you can't always have that. And you have to understand the demands of the military. That's just how it is. That's how it is. So as a military child, you have to remember that's just how it is.
That's it.
As a parent of a person that's in the military, never give up on them. Be as supportive as you can with them. Be there for them, listen to them, encourage them, motivate them. And remind them that what they're going through is short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Because their outcome is going to be so great. And that they did make a great choice by joining the military. And they didn't make a mistake. And just still be in their corner. When they call you to talk to you, like he said, listen. Just listen. That's all you can do. And that's a lot. It's not just an all. It's a lot. Listening is big. It's really big. As a teacher, again, listening, be there, build a relationship with your children because you don't know what they're going through at home. You have to be that person for them, to care for them, love them, be that person because they're missing their parents, their father who's being deployed, going in the field all the time and going away, and that smile, that hug, because they're telling you, oh, guess what? My dad comes home tomorrow, so they're so excited and they want someone to be excited with them. And so just be that person for them to be able to express and talk to. And it's great. it's a wonderful thing. So just keep being and showing up and being that person for them that cares for them and build trust with them. And that's it. A grandparent, a grandparent. Oh my gosh. Keep being the fun grandma, grandparent, granddad that you can be with them, so that they know, again, that they can lean and depend on you while mom or dad is gone away or going through, because that's what they need. That's what they need. They want to do fun things. They do get mad sometimes when you you put that whip down on them, because,
I don't do that because I don't do the discipline thing as a grandparent. I'm not going to even rely on myself like that. I'm sorry if you cut over you, but I don't discipline my grandchild. I know that's sad. I know. I get it. Believe me, I get it. I do. I'm working on it. I'm actually getting help. I'm getting help. I am. There's this thing that she does, like she'll somebody else in the house will tell her, not to do X, Y, Z, and she just looks at me.
So for me, it's the lip. It's the lip. When he.
So wait a minute. You were just shunning me, and you do the exact same thing.
Well, not until I get the lip. And I'm saying this here. As long as he don't know what it is, you don't hear this, please don't tell him. My son knew what it was. But that lip is the what?
I get this now. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But other than that, no, you're not gonna. Because the other day, I'm gonna give you an example. There were 3 bags of chips in the house. 3 bags of chips, and he ate them all. And I asked him, I'm like, did you eat all 3 bags of chips? He asked me, why are you asking? I said, why are you not answering? Like, I asked you a question.
I'm trying to figure out what he did wrong.
They were for his snack for school. I'm like, so what are you gonna eat for snack now? Like, you're not supposed to be eating those right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. You ate them. Now I gotta go and get something else.
At this point, it sounds like you gotta buy something else.
I did. I just went and got a whole lot more snacks. So yes. So this has been fun. I just want you to know that my brother is over here grubbing. I haven't eaten my food yet, but I did cook.
That's pretty much her fault.
I did cook.
Let me tell you something. Throughout the years, even when she was in college, when we go down to visit her at the wonderful Norfolk State.
Yes.
Anyways, we would go down, myself and Dennis, Kenny, Johnny. All the names I can think of at the moment that matter, but Calvin. Anyways, we would go down and she would cook these meals. And myself personally, I would actually look around and make sure my grandmother or my mother wasn't there. So
yeah.
I used to be amazed, and now her cooking skills are just as good. So yes, I have been eating. Sorry.
They used to come when we were at Fort Lee, still military. When we were at Fort Lee, every day after school, every day. Let me repeat that. Every day.
Yes.
After school, we would come home. I would come home. They'd all come over to the house.
Yeah, that was it.
And we would watch our favorite cartoon show.
Say it. Dare you.
Thundercats.
Hey, bro, y'all don't understand these kids.
Thundercats. Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. And he would make me cook the same thing.
Why was it that I made you do it? I just had That's all I did. Hey, can you?
No. Okay. So I didn't cook the same thing. Wait, I didn't cook different things. He wanted me to cook the same thing every day. Every day.
Let me tell y'all something. Growing up, a kid from Lake Wales, Florida, eating and growing up at my grandfather's place and doing the things we did, because all of the boy children, all the cousins were always at my grandfather's house, always. So we always shared that time together growing up. So we bonded. Excuse me. I grew to love pork and beans. Now, some of you might make pork and beans, and y'all say Franks. I don't know what that is. I use hot dogs myself. But to dress them up a bit, put a little cheese in them, cheese. If I got a bell pepper, I'm gonna cut that up, put that in there, the onion. And I'm gonna season it just right. But before any of that is done, gotta put a little ketchup, tiny bit of barbecue sauce, and a little sugar. Now that's the only thing sugar goes in, because sugar don't go in grits. So we're not gonna talk about that. That's another story. Anyways, and you let that simmer on the stove for a good 35, 40 minutes, especially when you done had a hard day at school. I mean, really hard day at school. Then you put it in a bowl, preferably a plastic bowl. Preferably, because for some reason the plastic back then just made food taste so much better. And you ate it. Take your spoon. You didn't even let it cool off. It was still hot as hell. And you chased it with Kool-Aid. That's what I used to ask her to make for me.
Every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
Every single day. And Dennis, yeah, she did get those chips. I got Dennis over here on the live. So yeah, she did go buy more chips, which is something I don't understand, because she talked about it like it was going to be an issue when the boy ate the chips. I'm missing the whole point with that. I don't get that part at all. I don't. I could be sitting there in Missouri, and and my wife and I, Donna, we made a rule. We're not going to be Uber eating all the time and door dashing. As soon as Zuri says, I want some French fries from McDonald's and some chocolate and apple, while she's talking, I am typing it into the phone under DoorDash. And then she said, did you hear me, Papa? And the first thing I do is hit PayPal, connected to the account, send. Let me get that food. It'll be here, and I show her on my phone. It'll be here in about 15 minutes, baby. Yes, that's what I do. Yeah. So there's no chip wars with me and her. There's no. She likes oatmeal pies too. There's no oatmeal pies. She loves oatmeal. I make her oatmeal every morning when I'm off, and even when I'm not off, most of the time I get home in the morning. Sometimes she's up. I'll make oatmeal. It's just a delight to have a grandchild. And speaking for myself, I'm not, including anybody else in this. After a certain point in life, especially after you've raised your kids, your life becomes very stagnant. At least mine did. I mean, I have fishing. I have, the boy games with Dennis and Kenny and Calvin. We shoot and we do what we do. We're in the gun club, but it gets kind of stagnant, because at that point you're more or less, and I say this about myself, you're more or less a showpiece than actually out there making a difference, And here comes along this grandchild, and they're just a piece of clay, and you get to mold them. But in molding of them, you get to make sure you don't make the same mistakes you made with your children.
Yes.
So it's fun to sit there, and I don't care. I can have worked all night, and she's up in the morning. I'll sit there with her for hours, and we'll just talk and laugh and play dolls. And let me tell you, speaking of playing dolls, I've always wanted to do the whole tea set thing.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
That water, there's tea in there. That plastic nasty. It makes horrible. I want y'all to know. Yeah, it make the water taste nasty. So please, whatever y'all do, don't drink that water. Tend to drink it. I made the mistake of drinking it because I trusted that Zuri had washed those cups out. They weren't washed. But anyways, back to what I was saying. They give you a whole new purpose. And I'm sorry if you don't see it that way, then that's you. But for me, she makes it really fun to be her grandfather. She really does. And I can't wait until the other one, my Ari gets of age and she's a little older. I can't wait to do the same things with her. Because now I'm going to be bombarded by two of them at the same time. You know what I mean? And I want that overwhelming feeling. I can't wait for that. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yes, Lord. All right, so.
Dennis, Florida does claim me. Lake Wales, Florida claims me. I'm tired of you talking about I can't claim Lake Wales. I claim Lake Wales. Damn it. Don't get mad at me because Lake Wales is where real football players come from. I said it.
So the last thing we're going to talk about is, well, no, not the last thing. Next to the last thing.
Right.
So the cooking in the house. He also used to get me in trouble for taking food out of my house because we used to have these bomb cookouts on the basketball court or in the park.
Yes.
And my mom and dad, I hope my stepfather don't take this, but they used to go to Murray's Steakhouse like all the time. Who remember Murray's Steakhouse?
Boy.
But anyway, they used to go to Murray's Steakhouse all the time, right? I'd go in the freezer and I'd take these steaks out. I'd be feeding the community, man.
Chicken.
And we go to the park and be cooking up a storm. Like, we had a great time.
When people talk about, their experiences at the youth center and at the DYA youth center, but when people talk about their experiences, they have experiences, and I'm going to say a lot of people probably won't, that we provided.
Yeah.
Because we were always doing something. And those cookouts that we used to have at the Battlefield Park. Now, some of you have been to parks, like, you go to parks and the grills are already there, right? Or we scrape them things up, clean them up a little bit, throw some charcoal in there, take the grating, put some foil on it, and go to cooking. That's what we did.
Oh, yeah.
By the time, here's what we would do. Myself and somebody that's on my live right now talking trash to me, but I'm going to go ahead and let him know. Myself, Dennis Calloway, Louis Bowman, God bless his soul, Jimmy Spraggins, Tom Taylor, Tim Howard. Some of y'all know him on Facebook as James, but I'm gonna call him his name. He was Bucky to me. That was my boy. That is still my boy.
Shannon Chandler.
Shannon, all of us. Oh my God.
Tina,
Consuelo, all of us. Sharon Johnson. Yes. We would pitch in. And me, I would always walk through school asking people for, 50 cents, 20 cents. Because at the end of the day, whatever I had went toward getting whatever we needed to do these barbecues. And we would do these barbecues at the Battlefield. We just scratched up, made up stuff.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment cookouts.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna mention no name, but there was this said 7-Eleven on the corner of a certain road that starts with an R off of Cradle Road. They provided the drinks for us all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't pay for the drinks, but they provided them. I'm going to say that. I can say that now. I think there's a statute of limitations on on any charges being pressed by now because we used to get used to have stacks of whatever we wanted to drink. And we go to the battlefield. We play basketball. Swing on the swings. We cook. Somebody would get a cake or some pies or some cookies. But we'd have buns, we'd have chicken, we'd have steaks. We'd have so many different hot dogs. It was ridiculous. Baked beans. And depending if Gratita made some size, we'd have them. But the point was, there were these spur of the moment cookouts that we would do. And people that, what I like to say, wasn't crew, would just show up.
Yeah.
They would just show up.
Other schools.
other
schools.
They would just show up. You know. And that was a typical day of being a military
child. Yeah, it was fun, especially when we were in Germany too. We would go from DYA to DYA, doing skating rink. Like we would host different DYAs. Even I don't know,
some of us
DYAs
understand what all area dance was.
Yes,
all area. And what they would be is you could have as many as 10 different youth centers showing up in one place to have a lock-in. These kids don't know what that is. And you would dance, or you'd have it at the skating rink where you'd skate until the sun came up. You'd eat, dance, skate, meet somebody, go with them, break up with them.
Right.
Yes,
I was dating people in so many other areas. Like, I go with this guy over here.
It was nothing like it. I do mean nothing like being at an all area dance.
It was fun.
It was so fun. And they would
meet people.
Yes. They would do them and they would happen, then they'd be over, and then everybody was looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
To the next one. To the next one, to the next one. Now, you can't even go to a club and see people dancing together.
No.
I was talking about this last night to a young man and at work, and he, because I was playing DJ Cool's 20-minute workout. I said, the night that he recorded that, we were in the club. He just looked at me. I said, bro, you don't understand. Yeah. We would go and spend our last on an outfit on Thursday. Wear that outfit to the club on Saturday. Yeah. Sweat up that shirt. I said, there was nobody in there trying to fight each other. No, we were always trying to see who could get what girl or how many girls we could dance with or be with or whatever. That's what the MO was for that.
The guys would be standing on the wall just watching.
Not me and the guys I ran with. One of my good friends, and I call him a good friend because I've known him since I was 13, Dennis Calloway, he, we would go out, and there'd be a group of women. We would always clown each other. We always want to clown. Why was we'd speak, go and try to talk to a group of women. We just go to like it was a group of women sitting at the table, like, for happy hour, we just go sit at the table and start talking. Like we knew somebody there at the table, but we didn't. We just would join in. And then sooner or later, somebody was like, do you know him? No. So I'm just here because I was having a good time over here. So I came over because I want to have a good time too. I ain't come to have an hour to be, all, bored and stuff. But Dennis would take and he would walk up to a group of them. And it was his favorite move. And I'd be with him, we get to push me, Dennis, and Kenny. And we'd be ready to. I'd be ready. Okay. He walked like he said, don't worry about it, man.
What?
Yeah. Do you know what it's like looking at a group of women and trying to tell them, nah, he just playing around this bullshit. I ain't gay. They tell you, they look at you and they're like, it's okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to hide. And I'm like, damn, dog. But that was his favorite move, and it would work. And we'd have a great time. But it was.
That's payback.
It is. It was more of the times that how we grew up and how we had fun. Because that line and that move, he had been doing that in the time that I've known him as a kid, in the time that we actually started sneaking. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say we snuck in the NCO club, because that would be wrong to say, but
no, because that's what happened.
We would actually leave the DYA and go to the NCO club.
But that's what happened.
That's what it was. Yeah. But he had been doing that since the time that we were probably 15, 16 together, to the time that we were 25, 30. That's what he would do. And it was just the move that we had from the time we were kids. But that's another military relationship that was formed in Germany. That's just how, we knew each other. We knew of each other in Germany because he played football and so did I. That's how we knew each other. He played for Pittsburgh. I played for Franklin.
And I sang the national anthem, I think, at one of Dennis's baseball games. Yeah. When we were in Germany.
And it's crazy. I mean, as kids now, here we are in our 50s, and we can reflect back on that. And these kids these days, that's a good story. But anyways.
But that whole thing that Dennis did to you was payback for what you used to have me do, because they used to call me the madam. Because he played Shy Guy. Do y'all remember Shy Guy?
Y'all know better.
You remember Shy Guy?
Y'all know I would never do stuff like that. Y'all know I would never.
He would, especially high school. Yep, I'm about to tell all the business, and then we're gonna get off because it's late. We've been on here over an hour. So we would be sitting at a table or out somewhere, and he'd be like, "Yo, Grit." That's what they call me, Grit. Yo, Grit. That girl right there. That's the one right there. That's the one right there. I'm like, what? Yeah, go talk to her. I want to talk to her. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I go over and talk to her. Be like, yo, my brother's shy. He want to talk to you. Can you give me your number? Because he's too scared to come over here. Like, he can't talk to you, girl. Can you just give me your number? Let me tell you. So I was really making friends with a whole lot of females just because of him. But yeah, Shy Guy.
Hey, Kenny Hill did the same thing.
He did.
He did the same thing.
He did.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kenny.
I don't know why. Like, I was in the middle of them. But then on Fort Lee too, when stuff broke out, because he was really like this kung fu master, they would call me, the police, the MPs called me the gang leader's girlfriend, because they thought we had a gang on Fort Lee, military children.
And the only reason they assumed we were a gang is because whenever something happened, it was always the same group of guys and females that were together.
Yeah.
Like, we would do things like,
we'd have fun though.
Go swimming when we weren't supposed to.
Jump the fence.
At 10, 11, 30, 12 o'clock at night, we would even go break in our pool. We'd go break in the officer's pool. That's what we call the officer's pool, because that's where it was designed for higher ranking members in the military. We'd get right over the top of the fence and we'd go swimming. Have a blast in the pool. Break into the snack shack.
I didn't do that.
Statute limitations.
I never did that.
Statute limitations as well. Well, I didn't do it either. I just knew of people that were doing it. No, you did that. No, I did not. I went in after someone else had opened the door. I didn't break in per se.
But you still went in when you weren't supposed to.
Because I was hungry. Oh. Yeah, I was hungry. And I wanted to eat some cookies, get me a couple juices and stuff like that. So anyways, we would go swimming, and
I did go swimming.
The funny thing was, whenever the cops would chase us, the MPs would chase us, it would always be the same guys. It would always be the same females. So I remember at the time, I believe the base commander's last name was Dye, Major Dye, I think is who he was. He just naturally categorized all of us as being a gang.
Yeah.
Military uncontrollable dependence. I remember seeing that report. Uncontrollable dependence. And I'm sitting here like, okay, now let's think about this. What exactly did we do that was so bad? We weren't selling drugs. We weren't out here breaking into people's cars and stealing. And no, we weren't doing that. We broke into the pool a couple of times. Or at night.
Broke into the pool a couple of... That's okay. That's still something that we weren't supposed to be doing.
That is not anything worth telling someone as a gang member. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. And whenever the MPs would ride by, there would be all of us, and we would sit on this block that was up on the corner of the battlefield next to the chapel. Mm-hmm. And we would sit, it was on Bastogne Road, I'll never forget it. We'd sit on that block, and it'd be, I don't know, 12, 15 of us, I guess. Mm-hmm. Tom Taylor, Tim Howard, myself, Dennis, Poochie, all of us, we would just be just chilling. And they would come up, or they would drive by like we had pistols, and I'm serious. This man had these people thinking we were something dangerous until he got reprimanded. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And it was like, because the thing of it was, at the time, it wasn't a big deal to us, but everybody that was up there except for one person, which was Alan Pollard, he was the only person that used to come up there sometimes that wasn't black. Yeah. And that was why Major Dye was reprimanded. But anyways.
I was banned. My mom told me, do not associate yourself with that guy. Yes. He is bad news. Do not. And then what I do, I got a brand new car, y'all. A brand new car. I was so hyped. And what did I do? I let him drive the car.
Wait. I bet she can't even tell you the name of the car. I can't
too.
Who was it?
It was a Renault.
A Buick Renault. That was it. Little silver thing, boy. Probably had like 3 cylinders in it. I don't know. It was funny. It was a cute little car, man. And the crazy part was, I can't even remember why you let me drive it.
I don't know, but we were chilling. We were driving, and he was driving and chilling, and all of a sudden, my mom passed us by.
And it was slow motion. I looked in her face. She looked in mine. I said,
oh.
Oh
my God.
She
pulled us over, and it was over. Mm-hmm. Over. It's over.
I was like, oh my God. She had this look on her face like, I know she did. And I had this look on my face like, I'm finna run.
Gang leader's girlfriend.
That's what it was. I'll never forget that. I read that report and I was like, you're saying that we're a gang? Like a gang like they'd have in LA. Mm-hmm. That's how he had us listed. They don't know if we have weapons. They don't know if we're armed. I was like, don't know if we're armed. Nobody back then even thought of having a gun. Yeah. Either you could fight or you couldn't. Yeah. Fortunately, several of us could fight. And those that couldn't fight hung around us because they wanted people to think that they could fight. Don't get it twisted. We knew who couldn't. We just didn't. We just weren't going to sit there and front you out like that. And it's the same way to this day. We know you. We still know you can't squabble, but it's okay. It's okay.
It was evidence when we got in that little squabble and people ran.
Hey, look, let me tell you something.
Okay, we're talking off topic. Like, we're supposed to be talking about the month of the military child. This is military child because we're military children, right?
I seen a guy run a car down 25 miles an hour. And it down. Knocking on the window. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Yeah. But then had nerve to tell people, he was helping me fight. Anyways, we had so much fun.
So do you still keep in touch with any of your military children friends from everywhere you've been?
Yes, I still have ties with the guys I ran with in Bootsbach. I still have ties with. The guys I ran with in Frankfurt. I'm good friends with a young lady that me and my brother actually met when we were living in North Carolina when my dad was at Bragg.
Okay.
Panama. I have several friends that I met that weren't military. They were civilians that I met I befriended when I was in Panama. Because I was a Boy Scout when I was in Panama.
Okay,
Didn't
Boy
know that,
Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to let TJ know that.
So was your boo Ernest. He was a Boy Scout too. My brother. Yeah, he was my idol. My brother's always been my idol. Outside of my father. But yeah, I was a Boy Scout. But yeah, I do, and like I said, praises to social media because it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can video chat with pretty much anybody. Yeah. You know.
Amen.
And a lot of them are doing well. A lot of them are gone.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but that's a real part of life, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I keep in touch with a lot of them. A lot of them I don't want to keep in touch with, but they still reach out. I don't know. I guess I have a problem with people making more of a friendship or relationship than what it was. Yeah. I have a problem with that. So that's just me, though.
Right. Well, make sure that Month of the Military Child, get information.
What's up, Tim?
There are a lot of resources out there for children in the military. Get the resources that you need. Get the support that you need. Because they're out there. We're out here. We out here, you know, like we're here. We grow up and we're here to help other military children. And we're trying to get together with our military children again, you know, our military peeps. And we're gonna do something. We're gonna bring it up. We're gonna brainstorm and get something together here. But make sure you get the resources and avenues to help, support, be a mentor.
You are not alone.
For all of the military children out there. Monetary resources, they're out there, you know, because it's not easy being able to take care of a military child if you are a family member of a military child. So yeah, look into everything. It's there. It's there for you. Anything else we missed?
No, but if you see this and you need anything outside of money from me, no, I'm just kidding.
You're so stupid. No, we are not going.
Reach out. I'm serious. Please reach out. You may not be able to help, but I can try to point you in the direction of getting some help. But being that whole military child is one of those things that a lot of people look at, especially civilians, look at as, oh man, you got this, you got money. And that's the biggest misconception that people have is military members have all of this money at their disposal.
Don't have it.
It's not that at all.
No.
It's not.
Struggling.
If you feel you need help with anything, or if you want to talk, or if you just see this and you want to chime in and be on the next one or whatever, by all means do it. Now, we do have some business coming up. We're going to be doing a DYA reunion. And myself, Miss Holiday, Dennis Calloway, Sharon Johnson, Kevin the Monster DJ, because you know back in the day that was our DJ. I will say it. I don't have a problem saying it.
Yeah.
At the top of my head right now, those are the people so far that I know
that
are brainstorming up this thing. We have a couple of venues we're going to be looking at in the next few weeks. weeks. But this thing is going to go together fast, and it's going to go together quickly, and it's going to be, we're trying to make it a several day event. So if you got any ideas and you want to throw some things at us, feel free.
Inbox us, send some, fillers, put something in on the chat. We're looking, we're watching, we're here.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming together real fast. Willie Isaac, cuz, what's up, man? I see you. Anyway, I had to get my shot. Yeah, he from Lake Wells, Dennis, and he'll tell you I'm from Lake Wells. Tell him, cuz, tell him.
Oh, Lord.
Lake Wells, Florida. That's what I is. Anyways.
Yes.
I want to thank you, Katina, for doing this. This is fun. I've done them a couple times with Dennis. We had a couple, times we did it. We didn't do it as military children, but we did it as basically mentors and coaches, which is what the good Lord gave me the ability to be able to do, is help mentor some of these young men into not making the same mistakes that I did.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful thing to see, or to have a young man come back to you 20 years later. And I say 20 because it's how long I've been doing it. Actually been doing longer than that, but to come back 20, 30 years later and say, hey, coach, thanks. I don't need any money. I don't need anything from you, actually. But when you walk up to me and you say thanks,
yeah,
that's enough.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, so y'all reach on out. We're going to have some fun.
Yeah, we're here. We are here, and it won't be the last. It won't be the last. So stay tuned. Stay tuned and see what's next.
Hey, Tim, before we go. Hey, Tim, yeah, we are putting a day together for we go out to the range. So we won't need to get you on up here. All right, baby.
All right, y'all have a good one. Peace. We out.
Love y'all. Ooh.